Hello fellow rock tumblers! Are you ready to start another tumbling video? I know I am. So for this video, let's take all of these rocks and find out how well they will tumble and polish. So where did all these rocks come from? Well, if you watch my videos, you might have seen a new series I have called The Great Kendra Scott Rock-Off. That's where I take a rock that I found and I compare it to a rock that Kendra found. I cut them in half, I look inside, and I determine which one is better looking. Not exactly a fair contest, but hey, it's a game. So these are the rocks that I have found and cut. She has her own rocks. I don't know what she'll do with hers, but these are ones that I entered into the contest. You might recognize some of these if you watched those videos. Hopefully you did. It was a lot of fun. So now the question is, how well will all of these tumble and polish? I honestly don't know. I think some of them are going to be really pretty, and a couple of them will probably be duds. Now I'm going to get them rolling in the coarse grit in the 6090 silicon carbide until they get nice and smooth. Now obviously some of these are not going to get perfectly smooth because, as you can see, they have a lot of odd surfaces on them. But anyway, I'll get them smooth enough so that they take a good polish. Once I'm finished with the core stage and these are smooth, I will bring them back in here and I'll show you what they look like before moving them onto the polishing stages. After many weeks of coarse grit grinding, this batch of Rock-Off rocks are finally ready to move on to the polishing stages. These have been transformed quite a bit. And even so, they're still not perfect, as you can see. But they're smooth, at least for the most part, and I think will be really interesting once we get a shine on them. Some of these should be really fun to see polished up. I think all of them actually will take a good shine. We're gonna find out. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get all of these in the vibratory tumbler. I'll go for about 10 days or so. I'll use 4 different grits. Look at that little red section right there. Isn't that cool? Once I'm finished with that final 14,000 grit aluminum oxide polish, I'll bring all these back in here and I'll show you what they look like. Well, what do you think? Our small batch of these Rock-Off rocks have been polished. Now, did we get any good ones? Let's take a look at the nicer ones and find out. This one took a nice shine. It's not a great agate as agates go. It's sort of I don't know, a little bit mossy. Sure, you can see it in there. But you can also see that the tumble is a little, well, suspect, let's say. Still though, nice shine. How about this pretty red one right here, which appears to be a sagenitic. You see that in there? Those little sprays. Let's turn it over here. It's very hard to hold on to these little jewels. Took a good shine, and oh yeah, look at that. Those little, oh, check that out. Those little eyelashes right there. Aren't those super cool? I love these little sagenitic agates from West Texas. This odd looking duck is actually quite a nice agate when you look at it up close. You can really start to see, look at that, the beauty within. You see how it looks out of focus? Well, that's just because it's deep within the chalcedony. I really like that. Such an odd shape though. What are we gonna do with this rock? I have no idea. It's pretty though. This little bicycle seat shaped rock is really interesting when we get on to this side. You see that? That might be pseudomorph agate right there. Those sort of tubes you see. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that may be what this one is. Another beautiful agate type that you can find out there in West Texas. Oh, this one is clearly a moss agate. Look at this, right in here. Oh, that's pretty. It's truly amazing how many of these great rocks you can find out there near Alpine, Texas on that private property. If you're into rock hunting, you need to make a trip out there. We're gonna be going back a little bit later this year. By the way, this is 2024, summertime. Who knows when you'll be watching this video. So we're gonna go back out to the Coconut 06 Ranch and hopefully find a bunch more of these really beautiful rocks. I'm not sure about this one. It definitely has that sort of petrified wood look. I'm sure it's not, but well, I say that, maybe it is somehow. I don't recall us finding any petrified wood there. Look at that little white detail there. What is that? Don't know. That's just a shiny little rock. These small ones can be a lot of fun when you look at them up close. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. You see that red mossiness in there? Yeah, you can see it there. Isn't that pretty? It's just a little bitty rock, but it's filled with all kinds of beauty. Here's a fun translucent agate right here. Look at this thing. Whoa, let me try to turn it over without dropping it. Look at that color. Well, I say color. Look at the, let's say the contrasting shades right there of whatever color that is. Heck, is that a little bit of, just a little bit of quartz right there? Maybe. I don't know. These rocks are so small, it's, even zoomed in like this, it's difficult to see what's going on. Here's another very pretty red rock. This may be the other half of one we looked at earlier. Let's see, can we tell? Oh, wow. When the light strikes that just right, what a beauty. Look at the colors in there. Whoa. Such a fun little rock. Several of these are sort of rough, tumbled like this and have the, as you can see in the reflection, that coarseness to them. But if you can look past that, these rocks definitely have a lot to offer. Check out all the chalcedony in there and some of the detail, those little bubbles, for example. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I do. I like that. That pocket is interesting. You see how probably the ceramic media I used was able to just wear down the top of that one little bubble there. That's cool. Here's another pretty light reddish pinkish one, probably part of the other rock I showed you earlier. Remember, these were all cut in half and have since been tumbled, so they should all have a match, maybe more than one match if they broke apart in the coarse grit, which some of these did. This is a good looking rock. Check out the detail in there. Don't those look like little flowers? Sure. Well, here's an example of a rock that must have been cut. Let's take a look at this half first. It's not as good as the other half, but I wanted to show you this up close. Yeah, that's sort of interesting. Nothing to write home about. But the other half, this, ooh, I like this one. Check out some of the color in here. Look at this color. Can I get it on the, let's see. Yes, look at that right in there. Tell me that's not an amazing color on a rock. Isn't that something? Those shades right there. And then, am I seeing, I don't know, almost looks like a light green as well in there. But boy, that little edge right there, that is a stunner. Wow. You never know what you're going to find in these little cut rocks from West Texas until you get them in the tumbler, right? I'm sure glad I cut and tumbled this one. We saw the other half of this one early on. Took a great shine, and look at that. It has that beautiful, very translucent chalcedony right there with some interesting design within it. Fun rock. Lots of these fun rocks in this little group. I hope you agree. And of course, another one of these moss agates I wanted you to see. Let's try to zoom in on this here. All that detail in there, isn't that incredible? Wow. Too bad it's not a better tumble, but what are you gonna do? These rocks would get so small if you were to try to tumble them smoothly, and there's no guarantee you could because, frankly, that might go all the way through the rock. And it sort of makes it more interesting when you can look into those little cavities with the little tiny bots in there. I'll show you just one more, and let's look at this one. This side is interesting. It's nice. You see the same beautiful sort of eyelashes in there, but check out this side right here. Wow. Doesn't that look like a fireworks show right there? Can't you just imagine it's the 4th of July, you're sitting there at the, let's say, the shoreline of a lake, and they're shooting off those fireworks. You see them explode like that. Oh, that is too cool. Definitely have to call this one the firework rock. So there you have it, the Rock-Off rocks all tumbled. I think we have some beauties in this group. A lot of them are just very small and not much to see, but a couple of them, as you saw, were just, there it is, there's that color. We're just stunners, look at that. And if you like these Rock-Off rock tumbling videos, I've got several more I'm working on that are actually much larger than this little batch. This was probably the smallest batch of these I did. So keep an eye out for those videos if they haven't already been released and you've already seen them. I don't release these videos in any particular order. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And please remember to check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.